Okay. Let's start with Rumi, because he's a great Persian poet, and he was the mentors for thousands of years. Set your life on fire. Seek those who fan your flame. My philosophy is just surround yourself with the people that they can fan your flame. And one of them did it yesterday with the last minute texting for me, because I was just thinking about how can I do that without any practicing, because I was so busy. Thank you, Beckett. Round of applause for him. Okay, thanks to Creative Morning, thanks to Rocky Mountain Beautiful College, and let's get a little Tarantino-y, Pulp Fiction-y, back and forth, just see some cool stuff from my works, and also my country, which is a huge country in Middle East, and I want you practice to say hi in Persian language. Dorud. Thank you so much. You did a great job. So the first slide, I am in a generation who witnessed the most violent behavior by the conservative community. And in our university library, they censored our art book. And that is true. When I went to grab some books from Leonardo da Vinci or Michelangelo to just draw, it was like this. And I designed this poster to dedicate to my generation. Let's give you some context. I worked in advertising agency for 15 years before opening my studio in Tehran. And before revolution, our women were like this, just like French women, Italian women. And after revolution, what happened for our women? They changed everything, religious, conservative people. And look at the color code. I mean, the color code was like this. Still inside of the house, it's like this. But in the community, they changed the color code. And now it's again going back to the same original color code. This is the recent photos that I took 2 months ago from Tehran. And the girls are so beautiful now. They just went wild because of so many action happened by women and women life freedom that happened in 2022 by a group of women, and Mahsa Amini was the sign of that woman life freedom. I was in Vogue Germany just right after that movement. They invited me to just print one of my projects, and it's my honor to be in that with a small article to talk about, I decided from that movement, any stage that I go, I will talk about women life freedom because it's important to those women heard. I came from a very ancient country. It's beautiful. 4 seasons. We have a ski resort. And we have I know, everybody loves the ski here. And, and the beautiful Persepolis, all the beautiful architecture in my country, not Islamic architecture, Persian, Iranian architecture. And then my city, Tehran, was about 10 million population. Can you believe I came to Boulder? I didn't find any people in the street. And I just asked my friend, Eric, where are people? And he said, oh, they're working. And I said, okay, but rest of them, where are they? And he said, this is a small Parisa. Because I came to Boulder because I met him in Mexico in another conference when I was the keynote speaker. This is my beautiful family. My son is not like this now. He was not raped. So now he's big, big guy working in JP Morgan as an intern, his dream, And now, how did I become a designer? Oh, that's a long story. It's not happened one day or 1 year or 10 years. So This is me. This is my family without my last brother. He was maybe on my belly of my mom. So, and my father was one of those like masculine men in Iran. And, he came from a very traditional family. He was a wonderful father. My mom exposed to many like racism, like women racism in Iran. But look at me, I always just look at me. My mom said, you always had some projects, and your brother was like the employee to do that for you. So, but like my father didn't like me to go to art school because he said, you're a smart girl and you're good in like math and like, science. But he put that seeds in my mind. And that's how we feed our kids with books. He bought this book when I was 4 years old, and it was my books until now, And this is the scenery of one of that like pages on that book. This is like my backyard now. I mean, it was my dream book, and I could read it. My mom read it for me every day, and like before going to school, I could read the whole book without knowing the any like the letters alphabet, but I could just read them visually because she wrote me read that for me every day. So about mentors. Yeah, we started this conversation. Brandy mentioned about that very well, that everybody can be mentor. Also, everybody needs mentor. So in Iran, when I was in university, I had fantastic mentors. On my bachelor, Mr. Farhadi was my my last thesis professor for the capstone, something like that. We say capstone here. So he hired me after I graduated among so many students that he had. And I'm so proud because he ran the best agency in Iran, and he worked with many international brands. And after I finished my bachelor, I went to graduate school. And Mr. Ali Rashidi was another person who just opened another chapter of my life. And he was my thesis professor for that. And then he hired me after I finished my job on the first company, and they decided to close that company after 25 years because of very stressful time. And he ran the second company that became the first company, and he invited me quickly after that. Then I finished my graduate. I worked with them 7 years, and then I found something is missing, and I should just learn more about typography. So I became familiar with Reza Abedi, a well-known graphic designer from Iran. If you just click typographer from Iran or from the world, he will be among one of those 50 people around the world. So I became familiar with him, and I participate on his private classes. He opened the cultural side of the graphic design, the artistic side, not the advertising part. So I came to US when I was a mature designer. I worked in agency for 15 years, and then I opened my studio. I ran that for 8 years. So I came to US because of the conflict in Iran. My husband said, we should maybe move to another country. I met some friends in Mexico, and then they said, you should come to US. I took the talent visa. I came to US with zero connection except Eric. And then I started working in different places, and I met David Slyden, the former director of the graduate program that in in visual design and branding design and UX UI design that I am director now. And he was my mentor in US. He trusted me. He was maybe one of those 5 people that really trusted me. And I met him, and he said, I wanted to apply for that program to get connected with CU. And he said, you should come and work for us. So I went to see you. I didn't know what exactly the material that I should prepare. What is assignment? I went to my classes in Iran and I said, okay, do some logo, do some projects. Here I should have planned. So I connected to another person. I asked for help. He was another professor at Missouri University, and I became familiar with him in other like biennale in like poster design, and he's passed all of his projects to me. And I said, I promise I don't copy, but I just want to know what exactly you deliver to your class. And thank you for my books. You know, they were another kind of mentorship for me. When I started like transferring all of my knowledge in English, it was just challenging for me to talk in English about graphic design. So, fucking hardworking. You know, there were so many people talented than me, but I was really hardworking perfectionist. You know, I wanted to do the best of the best with hardworking. So anyone can be your mentor, like from your parents, from your university people, or from your job. Listening is important. You know, I was a good listener, and any meeting that I went, I always take note and just follow up with them. I did a lot of projects in Iran, from larger scale, like billboard in Tehran for cultural event, from like social environmental project. That poster awarded like 5 international awards and connected me to designers to other worlds. Like the center poster is all about the conflict in Middle East because there are so many oil and gas there. So like not thousand, hundreds of book jackets, book covers, like book design that I worked with 5 publishers in Iran in that time. And then I don't know, who am I? I'm sometimes activist, sometimes I try to be a good mom, a good sister, like a good listener for my students, my beautiful students. Some of them are here, I really appreciate them. And I did my first project in Boulder. It was public art. I applied for that. And they said, you're approved. Like they doubleized my grant, and they said, we love it. It was a like huge fence in front of Boulder Library, and we changed that. Like I changed that. I did everything because I could sew, and I did some like crafting project. I said hello to my new community every 3 weeks in different languages. So through graphic design, I designed my life because I came not from a cultural background, like my family members, they were very traditional. So I could design my life. I just met so many amazing people. David Carson, I couldn't believe when I met him. He is part of the design history. Like, you know, Neville Brody, Paula Scher, these are like my legendary people in my life, but I met them. I can't believe I grew in a community of design. And then 3 case study. Are you ready for that? Yeah. Okay, you remember this slide. Before and after, but this is me. You know, this is me in agency with Amrullah Farhadi, who runs an agency similar to Mad Men, but not on sexual harassment. They were really respectful. But it was huge, like 2 floors of like 60 people. And we were like part of us working at studio, you know, he really trained us. So a campaign came to the second agency that I started my job, and for Pantene. And, you know, that agency, they started working with BBDO, like the partnership in Tehran, and they came to Darvak agency. So in Iran, women can't show their hair in ads. So how do you design a shampoo ad? Or like, you know, it's just crazy. So they sent this to us, similar to this one. And we said, okay, so this is the death of agency, you know, if we do something like that. in an Islamic country after revolution. So we decided to go to some other option showing women from the back. So it's not their face on advertising. And then the team we thought about like part of their hair, because creative director little by little just warned us, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Then we decided maybe we can just use like, this doesn't work. Yes, it works. Maybe we can use like girls as like, a sign of like, smaller woman, and then maybe like wig, and they said, no, these are all provocative, because we have Ministry of Culture, which is not Ministry of Culture, actually, it's Ministry of Censorship and Guidance. And the creative director said, you can't do that. So we decided, I couldn't find my like old files because they were all in Iran, my backup, but I brought you some examples. We use like some metaphor or some symbols, like for example, silk fabric to show the softener, like petal flowers as like anti-hair loss. When you have to do something, we are all like problem solver. We should find some way to do that. So the second idea, the second project that I did, like rebranding of Shahrzad Tea, an 80 years old brand. So this was the original logo that designed many years ago. And if you don't know who is Shahrzad, Shahrzad was the legendary Persian queen who tells the story in 1001 Night stories. So after revolution, they changed, those people, they have to change the logo. They haven't any time to change the logo, having with a scarf, and the logo just damaged, just like the women of Iran again. So the little logo, I lived with that, a nation lived with that. How can I design that now? I went crazy, just creating so many sketches to redesign that came from a brand strategist that I worked with. That, who is that? Oh my gosh. Okay. I haven't had any calls. This is Skype. Okay. Approved logo in 2015 was this. I was so proud of that. The brand strategist, her name actually was Shahrzad, and she was so proud of that. After lots of sketches during 2 months, then what happened? They paid me, they paid the brand strategist, and then in 2016, the company, the tea company, went to another company because they said, we can't show that on TV and broadcasting. That's provocative. They're afraid of women. It's real. And then they put some scarf, crazy scarf, coming like a woman coming from the cup. And they showed this one in broadcasting. They showed this one on social media. And then they have package. Out of the package like this, the aluminum foil is without hijab. Look at that conflict, controversy. So a campaign for kids play. How much time I have? Oh my gosh. Okay. I had another order to work on a theater, and I played with a paper cut. Send that to director. He sent it to Ministry of Culture or Ministry of Guidance. They just marked that woman again, fairy tale. They're really, really dirty-minded. So again, I went crazy, and then I softened a little this part, and then again they marked those parts and said, we should remove that. And I said, oh my God, how can I, is it good? Or this one, how can I just connect the neck to the body, to the, And the director said, Parisa, please help us. Because if you don't do that, if you don't just work with us, we have to just order them, So finally, not bad, we are problem solver. This is the final result and the whole campaign. So every cloud has a silver lining. To see which path is good for you, which path is right or wrong, just your intuition can be your mentor, Just follow your intuition, which way is ethical, which way is not. Don't fill your mind with trash. Like, listen to good music, good movies, I believe in, I didn't understand Tarkovsky movie, but I started watching them when I was 16 years old. Now I can understand, So keep yourself motivated in any way that you can. How? Come to our next week caffeinated morning that we brought a typographer from Salt Lake City. He is awesome. And I met him in brand new conference. From the first moment, I wanted to bring him in Boulder or in Denver area. He will talk in our studio. And also in September 13, I will have an exhibition in dairy art. So please just remember that date. We don't have any QR code, Juliet, but yeah. Thank you so much. Let's get connected.